Measuring progress the wrong way while you're trying to make changes with your diet or your relationship with food is 100% keeping you stuck. Expecting visible results from whatever you're doing within 2 to 4 weeks, expecting yourself to feel motivated and clear-headed all the time, expecting yourself to be perfect, even though these things have been normalized to a degree by a bunch of different health and wellness and fitness communities, it doesn't mean they're helpful. Just because something's been normalized doesn't mean it's good. My name's Marcus, this is Strong Not Starving, and we help people create fulfilling, sustainable relationships with food, exercise, and body image. So expecting yourself to experience fast, visible results with whatever you're doing, it's not only unrealistic, but it reinforces issues that exist at the core of the problem. Looking for emotional security and self-esteem externally, and conditional self-acceptance, like, I'm only good enough if. Now, this doesn't mean you're not allowed to be happy if you look in the mirror one day and like what you see, but telling yourself that you're only going to be good enough when you look a certain way, that just reinforces the kind of emotional stress that leads to bad habits. And when it comes to feeling motivated and clear-headed, nobody feels motivated all the time. It would be really weird if you did. I know golden retrievers that aren't motivated all the time. The thing is, motivation usually comes after taking some form of action. But we've all kind of been led to believe, or we've created this mutual delusion that motivation is the thing that's meant to come first, and we should feel bad about ourselves if we don't have it. If you're creating a story about yourself and your personal character whenever you don't feel motivated, that's really going to just bum you out. And in turn, that's going to make taking some form of action that maybe would lead to motivation feel even harder, because you're not just taking that action now from a place of maybe feeling a bit flat. You're trying to take that action from a place of feeling flat and feeling bad about yourself. So what the hell? And this whole idea of locking into a new diet and thinking that that's it and we're going to be perfect from now on. I don't even know where to begin with that one. So many diets and wellness plans and people out there sell this idea that if you just get this right, if you do this one thing, if you lock into this, you'll be able to stay perfect with it and it'll just be happily ever after. Now, I don't know if that's just really predatory marketing or these people are actually delusional, because expecting that you're just going to get something perfect from now until forever is setting yourself up for disappointment. So if you want to improve your health and your relationship with food, not to mention your relationship with yourself at the same time, we need to do these things. Make our best reasonable effort with things like grocery shopping and cooking. And I say best reasonable effort because we're all in different situations, right? Keep your meal and snack schedule as regular as possible. Get ahead of hunger. It's really hard to make good decisions if you're hungry. And I often hear from people, oh, but I'm not hungry in the morning, or I'm not hungry at this time of day. Yeah, I get it, but how is leaving decisions until you're really hungry going for you? Like, honestly, how's that been working out? One of my superpowers now when it comes to nutrition is the ability just to eat before I'm hungry, eat what I know will help me throughout the day, and set myself up to not be in a position where I'm feeling really starving or feeling really snacky or getting into that kind of craving territory through the afternoon or into the evening. Realistic expectations as far as this goes. Really important. And just practical habits, things that you can control, or that at the very least you have some influence over. You might not be able to control exactly what foods are convenient and available around where you live. There might be some choices we can make, and we might be able to keep a few foods that we feel good eating just kind of within arm's reach. And that hinges on preparation. It hinges on a little bit of organization. And that is something that, again, is so much more within our influence than looking in the mirror and deciding whether we like what we see or not. And ironing out the peaks and troughs in our journey with food by practicing a little bit of non-judgment. You can look at something that you did and go, that didn't go too well. I'll do better next time. Let's see how I might change that, without making it about something that is faulty within you as a person, right? This whole practice of non-judgment, it is not this idea that everything that we do is amazing and we never tell ourselves, hey mate, you could have done that better. That's not what non-judgment is. Non-judgment can be acknowledging that part of us is maybe trying to judge us and not letting that determine our whole emotional trajectory. And non-judgment can also be looking at something that maybe you'd like to improve without that meaning something bad about you as a human being. The moment any kind of misstep translates into this says something bad about me as a person and then very quickly transitions into shame, that's when we're in really dicey territory. When we look at what drives human beings towards habits that leave them feeling really, really not good, shame is a huge part of it. And there might be some people out there that think they can shame people into improving. And here's the thing about that. Shame might provide the initial whip crack that gets a person off the couch, maybe gets a person to click purchase on a diet or training program, but shame is not a sustainable fuel source. It's not going to carry you through to the end of your journey. Being able to label good enough as good enough without needing it to be perfect, even if things go a little bit sideways. This literally happened to me last weekend. My wife and I were at the beach. It was a really beautiful day, and she asked me if I'd like to share a bottle of wine with her. Now, we very rarely drink, and I kind of recognized the significance of that moment. Knowing what I know about Marta, she wouldn't have asked me if I wanted to share a bottle of wine with her if it was just kind of routine alcoholism. I could tell that in that moment, she was having a really nice day and wanted to share that with me, wanted to do something a bit special. So in that moment, saying yes to sharing a bottle of wine with Marta, that felt important to me, even though I hadn't planned on drinking. And of course, because it was such a nice day, we ended up staying at the beach well into the afternoon and early evening. Now, was there a large selection of healthy snacks around? No. Was I going to sit there and starve and be uncomfortable because there wasn't a large selection of healthy snacks around? Also, hell no. So I got some chips, and at that point in time, it became, I've had half a bottle of wine and some chips. Did I plan on either of those two things? No. Would I have made that choice if I was just kind of walking around by myself? No. Was there a little voice in my head that was like, hey, we weren't going to drink this weekend and now suddenly we've had half a bottle of wine and some chips, and I don't know about that? Yeah, like, sure, that voice was there, but I wasn't willing to give that voice the spotlight of my attention. And that is easy to do when you do the work involved in these choices no longer meaning anything about you as a person. So it's like, yeah, sometimes these voices are still there, but because what they're saying is no longer tied to how I view myself as a human being or my worth or my value, they have no power anymore. It's just like they're an echo of how I used to think. And was I going to let some wine and chips on the beach turn into a binge? Also, hell no. There was no way that that was going to then turn into me eating like crap for the rest of the weekend. But if I was caught up in perfectionism, that all or nothing, I'm either succeeding or failing mindset, then that immediately would have turned into a failure, which then very quickly opens the doors for, well, I've failed now, I've ruined it now, I guess I'm just going to go for it. So expecting to see fast, visible results from whatever you're doing, expecting yourself to feel motivated and clear-headed all the time, expecting yourself to be perfect, these things are not serving you. So when asking this question, am I making progress? Remember, say yes to the nice experience, but don't let that become a reason to binge. Look for progress in the form of reduced emotional and nutritional chaos. Are things perfect? Yeah, I don't know, we're still human, but is there less chaos than there was maybe a few weeks ago? Even a little bit less chaos? Yes? Then excellent. Falling into all or nothing thinking when it comes to looking for signs of progress, that's a real disaster as well. I talk to a lot of people that have this idea in their mind and a lot of shame attached to it that success looks like the absence of any challenging or problematic moments rather than the reduction in duration and frequency of these kind of chaotic or difficult moments. Duration, frequency, and intensity of things like binges, drops, before these things become absent from your life. So if you're expecting yourself to go from struggling one day to perfect the next day, guess what? That's that perfectionism sneaking in through the back door, perpetuating the same problem. So look for progress in experiencing an increase in your confidence, living life outside of an all or nothing mindset. That's progress, and it happens in increments. Learn to recognize small shifts. Celebrate those shifts. I know that sounds corny, but celebrating those small shifts is what's going to make you feel more genuinely in alignment with taking a positive or helpful step next time. You celebrate your wins, that feels good, and then when more choices roll around, you remember, hey, last time I made this choice a little bit different. That actually felt really good. It felt like something I could be proud of. I enjoyed celebrating that. I went to bed proud of myself that night. Let's do it again. Set aside this idea that you can just beat yourself into growth and progress when it comes to practical habits as well. Did you write a list, get your shopping done, and cook a few meals this week? Yes? Excellent. They don't need to be Michelin star. It's fine. You wrote your list. You went to the supermarket. You got your stuff. You put food in your house. You cooked a couple of things. Awesome. Rinse and repeat. Go again. Did you have pizza on Thursday because you accidentally burned the batch of chicken that you cooked? I get it. Good job. Enjoy the pizza. Move on. Remember, we don't slow cook it 200 degrees. And if you want to improve your confidence, your health, your relationship with food, maybe learn about strength training from people who aren't going to say weird shit to you about body image or dieting. If that sounds interesting to you, check out the latest info on the upcoming Strong Not Starving community. Details are in the episode description. My name's Marcus. Remember, progress doesn't mean you have to be a prick to yourself, and kindness is not the absence of accountability. This was Strong Not Starving. I'll see you next time.